Thank you for watching WISD TV. My name is Dale Caffey, and it is my pleasure to be with the new head football coach of the Waco High Lions, Marty Herbst. On Friday, March the 1st, Marty was named the head coach of the Lions. And Coach, after spending more than 25 years in the coaching profession and really more than 2 decades here in Waco, did you ever have a feeling that this day would never come?
Well, I don't know if 21 years ago when I came to the district, I had this ambition. I was looking for a job and met a guy named Johnny Tusa, and here we are today. Just been fortunate that I have been able to stay here, and I have had opportunities to go elsewhere, and this is the place that I learned to love, and this is the place I want to be, and here we are.
Well, you certainly showed that several years ago. Of course, 10 months ago, you were named the interim head coach after the departure of your predecessor. But prior to that, you were a candidate for the job when Coach Tusa left. Yet you stayed on staff. That's sometimes hard to do. But you chose to stay here and remain on staff and remain loyal to the person who was picked as coach at that time. Talk about that experience.
Well, I thought Coach Tusa and I would retire at the same time one day. As I worked with him for 17 years, and he walked in one day in February and said, guys, I hate to do this, but I'm done, and I'm going to move on and let somebody else do this. And I took over the reins for, I believe it was 55 days, and it was then I realized what I could do and what difference I could make. And after 55 days, the district decided that somebody else needed to do it. And I was really crushed at the time. It was a pretty sad day in the household. Mm-hmm. But the one thing I've learned since then is that things do happen for a reason. There's an old expression out there in the coaching industry that you never want to replace a legend. You want to replace the guy that replaces him. And that's just how it worked out. And here we are 21 years later.
You took the helm as the interim, and the Lions really had a great season last year. I believe 9-4 with a 5-2 district mark. You advanced into the state playoffs a couple of games. Talk about that experience and just experiencing last season and as with the title of interim on your name.
I never really thought of it as an interim position. I took it as if it was mine and nobody else was going to get it. Took over a weekend of spring football and finished the spring, and with the staff was able to put together a pretty good summer plan, and it's the strongest one we've had in a few years. And had such a good staff in place that really the football part of it is probably the easiest part of the job. One of the things I've learned over the years is if you have a plan, it's more likely to work out, and that's what we make sure we do, from a plan today for a plan down the road. And I have guys that love to look ahead and set goals for our guys that may seem unattainable to some, but not to us.
You, of course, have been through a lot of seasons, but last season, as your first as a head coach, you go into the season not knowing what you have. You have some bruises and bumps and some hiccups along the way. But all of a sudden, you see this team sort of gel and really materialize and become a force. Talk about, as a head coach, seeing that happen. I know you've seen it a lot as an assistant.
Well, we felt after the scrimmages we had something special, and started out the season on the right foot. Had some injuries and took a setback when we played Copper's Cove. Got it going again. I think probably the biggest turning point in the year, to me anyway, was in the locker room at Crowley. We lost on the last play of the game. 2 weeks prior, we lost on the last play of the game. And here we are with these great ambitions, and we're sitting there 1-2 in district, and we had a little heart-to-heart in the locker room after that game, and got the guys to look ahead and just see what was coming out there. I said, all you need to do is make sure you're here at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I don't think there was one kid there after 9 o'clock in the morning. That's just how that group played and what we could expect out of them, and we had something to be proud of in the end.
And of course, you make the playoffs, and these kids were not satisfied with simply going to bi-district play. I mean, this was a team with heart, a lot of heart.
A lot of heart. Of course, we go up and play OD Wyatt and DeSoto, and didn't have our best game. Still came out of there 20-something points ahead. Probably the most exciting game was the second round game against Lake Dallas when we knew we were superior to them. But you know, in a game, you have to play the game, and sometimes the breaks don't go your way. And in the first half, they certainly did not. We were in a hole and fought back in the second half, and some things started to go our way. And then on the last play of the game, we kick a field goal to win it, and that was real exciting for the guys. And that's why we're here. We're not here for me or my staff. We're here for them, and when we can see them having moments like that they did this year, well, then that's the reward we get.
You mentioned your staff there. You also mentioned your staff during your news conference on March the 1st when you were named the coach, and how valuable they are. And particularly, you named some that you were able to pick up and put on your staff who used to play for you.
Correct. Had a few guys in the system already. I guess the first one that was promoted to a coordinator was Ryan Graves. And Ryan probably outworked everybody, including me. He's just a go-getter. He probably impressed me as much. I didn't know he had that much in him, and it wasn't just during the season. It's off the field and in the summer and just in conversation. He's the right guy for that position. Very proud and honored to have Brendan Smith as our defensive coordinator and Greg Rudolph as our special teams coordinator. They do exceptional. James Stewart was already on the staff. Tyler Miller, another former player that played at Louisiana Tech, was in the district but not at Waco High, and we were able to move him up. Ted Long, who was the quarterback of the first school after when it opened in 1986, he was the quarterback that year, and he's just words can't say really what I think of him on and off the field. Just number one. I know we have Andrew Hurtado on the freshman staff that we stole from Killeen ISD, and he's doing a great job for us. And of course, Donald Harris played in the district back then, and I was part of the instrument that got him to Waco High in 1996, which happened to be the year we played for the state championship. So those guys, again, it's not, hey, I'm going to get on the internet and look and see what jobs are coming open and see how I can better myself, because those guys are where they want to be.
Right. And
they're going to gain some experience while they're here, and hopefully one day they can take my spot.
Well, talk about the value, and you referenced this also in your news conference, of the things that go on behind the scenes with those, particularly those coaches who used to be Waco High Lions, and what goes on behind the scenes in the hallways, in the lunchrooms. You mentioned that during your news conference, how valuable that is, the relationship they have with today's player.
You know, kids are kids, and they're all growing up, and sometimes kids are going to make mistakes, and I know the hour that we have them during the school day for the athletic period, they know what we expect. There's some of them that might try to be a little mischievous when they're not in athletic class, and those guys are the first ones that are walking the hall and stepping into a classroom when they have a minute and checking on a few players and asking teachers questions about how they're doing, and hey, let me know if you need any help. So those are the kinds of things that not just the former players do, but the staff as a whole does now. And the kids know it, and they know what we expect, and they know if they do what we ask them to do, then good things are going to happen, just like we had told them this season. But those guys go above and beyond.
And of course, head coaches like yourself know the importance of good grades, because you want the player to be there on Friday night but he can't be there on Friday night if he's not doing what he's supposed to do in the classroom. You've been able to do that. In fact, this last year, I know that we have a nice picture of about 8 of your players who made the all-academic team. They're good athletes, but they're good students.
Good students, and they've been told the number one question that the recruiters ask when they come to campus is, what are his grades like? And that hasn't always been the case. Even though kids have been told that for years, they don't believe it. Well, now they're seeing it. Mm-hmm. We've had the recruiters speak to them directly. Hey, what's the first thing you're looking for, coach? And they share that with them. We had 8 academic All-State. That is an award. You have to be a senior. You have to have an overall class average of 4 years of 92 or better. And we were really happy for that. We made it through the season with the varsity team and never had a kid fail and become ineligible due to grades. Now that our seniors are moving on, we've talked with our younger kids about that. I may have mentioned in the press conference we had a kid or two that didn't get to sign on signing day because when they were in the 9th or 10th grade they hadn't taken care of their grades. Mm-hmm. And that's what we've tried to pound into the minds of our freshman and sophomore kids now. Hey, you think your grades don't count now, but they do. And we don't want you to be in the same boat as 1 or 2 of these were this year when you're a senior. Right. And we've had a pretty good response overall.
Very good. You mentioned National Signing Day, and I would think there's nothing more proud for a head football coach at a high school to be on National Signing Day, especially in this case this year when I believe there were 8 tables set up across the Waco High gym, and you had those 8 players sign on the dotted line. It was a proud day for them, for you, for their parents. Talk about that as a head coach.
Well, as coaches, we're proud, but again, to have a special moment for them is what we try to create. And to have 8 tables lined up like that was a first, and that was a proud moment for the program in the history and something to build off of for the future.
Also signaled, however, that 8, probably more, seniors graduated who were an integral part of this last year's team. So let's look ahead to next year, Coach. Spring training will start soon, and the holes you have to fill and the things you have to do. Talk about that.
Spring training will start soon. We're losing 15 starters and 1 kicker for sure, and maybe both. Not to get into that right now. But after spring break, we will hit the field twice a week during the athletic period and see who we can find to play receiver, because we lost every one of them. We also lost every running back that played last year, and pretty solid in the offensive line, we think, and at quarterback we're pretty good shape there. Defensively, we lost 7 starters, and we're kind of solid right up the middle with the nose guard, 2 inside linebackers, and a safety. And most everybody else would be a new starter or new to the varsity. The one thing I've really been anxious to see develop is our freshman group. We have some good freshman numbers, and we have some excellent talent there. And the chore for me since December is to teach them how to work hard and to get them to stay with it and to get them to take care of their business off the field as well. But after spring break, we'll get out there and start figuring out who we're going to put in those holes, and then put it all together after that.
Wonderful. Well, Coach, congratulations on your appointment as the head coach. The interim tag is taken off. You had a great season last year, and we're looking forward to seeing the Lions do much better things even in 2013.
Thank you very much.
Once again, this is your new head football coach at the Waco High School. It is Marty Herbst, and thank you again for watching WISD TV.